Hello, good evening, guys. How are you doing? This is our June week 2. Okay. Hi, Carol. Hi, Jihan. Where were you, Carl, last week? It's holiday, huh? It's holiday, so you were not here, right? We had our class as normal. You forgot to come. Okay, remember to request video, huh? Okay, so last week we finished what is compound and mixture. Oh, family dinner, I see. Okay, so we finished what is compound and mixture, huh? What is compound and mixture, huh? So let me say this again. We have three things to learn. We have element, okay? Two types of element put together, we call it compound. And they get married, they become friends. And if there's no friend, no married, don't know each other one, like you see, there's no bond, sand and salt, they don't get married. This is what we call a mixture. Okay, so this is what we learned last week, huh? Let me finish this last part, guys. Let me finish this last part, which is our solution. Okay. Hello, Sinteng, how are you? Okay, so we finish this lah today. See if I can. So, guys, last week we were talking about mixture. As you know, mixture is your 混合物. That means they don't become friends, they don't get married. Which brings me to solution. So, solution is a type of mixture. Okay, solution is a type of mixture. Because they don't become friends, they are easily put together and they are easily separated. Okay, what do I mean? Okay, guys, do you know what is a solution? I think you learned this in school already, some of you. Yes, make sure not chemically bonded, yes. Okay, so let's say you have a solute. Solute is your salt. Okay, so if you take a bunch of salt, you put it in water, you will get something called salt water, right? I mean, of course lah. So salt plus water, you get salt water. But we don't want to learn this. We want to learn what's the proper name for it. Salt is what we call a solute. Salt is a solute. Water is a solvent, right? So solute is the substance that dissolves. Sorry, please add an in here. Dissolves in. When I dissolve in something, I am the salt. Right? Yeah, sodium hydroxide, whatever. Okay, solvent is the liquid. They dissolve other substances. If I dissolve someone else, I'm the water, right? And you will get a solution. It is a mixture. Can you see mixture here? It is a mixture. Guys, don't get confused by these two. The best way to memorize this, salt is a solid. Salt is a solid. Solid solute. Solid solute. Solid solute. Can you see the similarity? Solid solute. So that's the thing. Okay. So sodium chloride. Okay. So this is your solute solvent solution. So when water solute dissolves in water solvent, salt water solution is produced. Okay, really easy. A solution is usually clear. Light can pass through solution and we can see through it. Right? You see, you can see through what's behind salt water, right? So this is a solution. Okay, you can do the same thing for sugar. Sugar is a solution because you can see through sugar water. However, if a solute does not dissolve in a solvent, we say that they are immiscible. Okay, immiscible, that means they cannot mix, the thing cannot dissolve. When mixed immiscible substance produce a suspension, right? What is a suspension? What is a suspension? Let's say sand water or muddy water. Mud water, right? Separated, yes, we do. Yes, we are. Why? Oh, funny you should mention that. Oh, you learned this already, is it? Okay, guys. Can mud dissolve in water? Can mud dissolve in water? Can sand dissolve in water? No. So this is what we call a suspension. A suspension, right? When something cannot dissolve, we call it suspension. Okay. And the thing about suspension is, a suspension is usually opaque. Light cannot pass through it. Light cannot pass through suspension. It usually looks cloudy. That means it looks dirty. Okay. And we cannot see through it. We cannot see through suspension, right? But you see, solution is clear. We can easily see through solution. But suspension, no. You cannot see through sand water. You cannot see through mud water. You guys okay? You guys okay? This is just like an extension from last week, huh? Very easy stuff, huh? Okay. Zhihan and Xinteng, are you guys okay? Are you guys okay? Where's the other two, huh? Where's the other two today? Hey, very hard we very hard to get full attendance one, huh? We very hard to get full attendance one, eh? It's usually one didn't come or the other one didn't come. I also don't know why lah. Okay, cool, huh? You guys okay, huh? Please slow me down if you have anything. 不明白请跟我讲哈。Okay, so this is your salt water. So guys, I have a question here. I have a question here. Milo is solution or suspension? Milo is solution or suspension? Can you see through Milo? Milo is a suspension, huh? Milo is a suspension. And usually suspension, right? They will settle. You know what is settle? 沉淀. Like you see Milo, right? When you don't stir them, Milo will sink to the bottom, and you see the bottom part very dark, and then the top part is like very light. The top part is not sweet, but the bottom part is very sweet. So suspension is usually like this, right? Most of the medicine, let's say cough medicine, it is usually, okay, what about cough medicine? Or any medicine for that matter? Yes, you can separate by filtration, that's correct. So, medicine is usually suspension or solution. Cough medicine, sore throat medicine, your Panadol kits. You know Panadol kits, the red color one for kids one. Is that suspension or solution? Some suspension, some solution. Okay, so how can you tell? Guys, very easy. Whenever something is suspension, they will write one instruction there. Shake before use. If you need to shake it, means they will settle. Means this thing is for sure a suspension. Because they cannot dissolve what? They cannot dissolve what? Okay, so you say shake before use. Right? So let's talk about 3 types of solution. I think you learned this also already. So what is solution? We have 3 types. We have dilute solution. Dilute means 稀不浓, very watery. Like you know, you go to some restaurant, you order Milo peng, then the Milo peng is very bland one, not nice one. That one is dilute solution. Okay, we say that the Milo is very dilute. The Milo is very bleh, okay, dilute. Less amount of solute in the solvent. Okay, please change this less to little. Okay, little amount of solute. You only have very little solute here. Right, you just put a bit of salt. Okay, concentrated. This is you have large amount, guys. Please change this to large. When this is 搞 lah, we say this very 搞, very 浓, 很浓 very 搞. Like if you make Milo, right? If your Milo is half cup of powder, wow, the thing is really thick. Really nice because it's very sweet. So that's your concentrated solution. Concentrated. Okay, and then saturated. Guys, what is mean by saturated? Saturated means full. Saturated means full. What does it mean by full? Full means you use so much, they cannot dissolve anymore. It's already at excess, as in too much. Right? Let's say you take a cup of water, you scoop a cup of Milo powder, you put it in. 1 cup of Milo plus 1 cup of water, I don't think the thing can dissolve. Right? Saturated diffuse much faster, yes, okay. It's so thick that water cannot manage to dissolve them all. So yeah, right. It's I don't think your mom will let you put 1 cup of Milo powder into into the water. She will probably beat your ass, okay? Because it's so wasteful. Okay, so guys, can understand. This is less salty. This is quite salty. This is the most salty. you will see salt sink at the bottom. Okay, you will see salt sink at the bottom because it's so salty, right? So anyway, let's talk about separation. Okay, just now we say when we put mixture together, right? Let's talk about how we separate them. Okay, let's talk about how we separate them. Okay, guys, this is really easy. This is really easy. Since mixture, they are formed physically, they don't become friends. They are also easy to separate. They are not friends, what? You see? Like I said last week, sand and salt is not friend. So it's very easy to separate them. Whereas compound is very hard to separate. Can you separate sodium and chlorine? Yes, you can, but it's very difficult. Can you separate water, H and O? Can you separate H and O? You can, but it's going to be harder. Huh? So many you learn already, one not inside. Yes, lah, you can separate by electrolysis. I'm not going to talk about electrolysis. The one is actually for your year 10 already. That is for year 10 already. You want I can teach you extra lah. I can teach you extra. Hey, even electrolysis you will not separate sodium chloride unless you melt it. Because if it's in solution, it will not separate. You get what I mean? You get what I mean? Because between sodium and hydrogen, they will discharge hydrogen first before sodium. You see, electrolysis is a thing that I don't get into because it's very technical. Okay, it's very technical. What's the difference between molten and aqueous? Right? Do you discharge the higher or the lower? What is the electrochemical series? That is like advanced grade chemistry already. So yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Right? This is enough, guys. This is enough. You're only in the lower years, okay? So don't worry. So how do we separate mixture? There are many things you can do, but it depends on what are you trying to separate, right? Like if you're trying to separate sand and water, we use filtration, right? Filtration is a method used to separate insoluble solid from a mixture of solid and liquid, right? This is to separate suspension, basically. You want to separate suspension, you use filtration. Okay, filtration is the one we use. You just need a filter funnel and you need a filter paper. This is just like making coffee. This is just like making coffee. You know, coffee has a filter paper on top, right? That's your filtration. Okay, distillation. This is to separate two different liquid. Okay, just now suspension is one liquid, one solid, right? Distillation is two liquid and they are miscible. Liquid that can be mixed together like water and alcohol. Guys, do you know you can mix alcohol and water together? Alcohol and water, they can easily mix. So when they mix, how can you put them apart? You just use distillation. Okay, distillation. This is for miscible liquid like ethanol and water. Ethanol is alcohol, right? So how do we separate alcohol and water? We use distillation. Okay, thermite reaction. Oh, the one I mentioned, the exothermic thing. Why are you guys learning so much? Why are you guys learning so much? You are only in year 8, right? Why are you learning so much? Then year 9, what do you learn? Okay, okay lah, maybe your school is prepping you all for that lah. Okay, I don't bother. Okay, I actually don't bother. Yes, fractional distillation. I'm not gonna talk about that one. Is for petrol. That one is for petrol. Okay, you get petroleum. Sorry, you get petrol. You get natural gas. You get kerosene. You get diesel. Those, right? I don't bother with that. Okay, you can learn it yourself. Okay, mine is the just enough for you. Okay, I don't think you need to learn so much. Okay, so for now, so sedimentation or decanting. This is very similar to filtration. But if you don't have a filter paper, if you don't have a filter paper, you will let the thing sink to the bottom. Right? This is called sedimentation. This is how our country cleans our water. Guys, you know who is Inda water? You know what is Inda water? Okay, these are the guys cleaning our water for us. Right? So how do they clean sand away from our water? They will use sedimentation. Why don't they use filter guys? Why don't they use filter Because filter is very slow and filter is very expensive. Because they need to clean water for the whole country, they cannot filter everything. I mean, they can lah, but it's going to be really slow and it's very inefficient. right? So this is sedimentation. This is the cheapest way to clean sand compared to filter paper, okay, compared to filtration, right? Sieving, this is to separate two different solid, right, for flour, okay, to remove impurities from substance. This is for okay, for solid, right? Next, separation using magnet. Separation using magnet. Okay, magnet, this is for two solid, but one is magnetic, one is not. To separate a magnetic substance with a non-magnetic substance. Okay, magnetic like iron, nickel, and cobalt. These three, they are magnetic. Gold is slightly magnetic. So you can kind of put it here, right? But the main thing we use is iron. Iron is very magnetic. Okay, in fact, it's the most common magnetic metal, right? And of course, flotation. This is just now distillation is for completely miscible liquid that can be mixed together. But flotation is for something that cannot be mixed, right? Like oil and water. This one easy lor, right? I'm sure your mom does this when she makes soup. When your mom makes soup, she will take the oil on top from the surface and throw away. Okay, separating funnel. Yeah, that's the separating funnel. No, the method is called flotation, but this thing is called the separating funnel. Okay, so this is the oil you take away, and of course, guys, this one, what is this? Chromatography. You can just learn this for fun, not in your syllabus. What is chromatography? Chromatography is when you separate things by color. Separate things by color. This is a more advanced method. Usually we use this for DNA testing. Yes, dyes and inks too, right? But just read this for fun, right? So what is chromatography in daily life? To check document fraud, right? See if, let's say I test your passport. If your passport is fake, if your passport is a counterfeit, your ink would be different from the legit one. So when your passport, you do chromatography, if you do this, if the color is slightly different from the real one, then that means yours is fake lah. Okay, definitely yours is fake. All right. We also use this to determine any harmful food coloring. Right. See if you are using any harmful food coloring. And also we use it to test drugs. See if this is what we call doping. Okay, to test for doping. See whether your athletes are using any performance enhancing drug. To check the urine, see if the athlete is cheating. You see the athlete is cheating. Evaporating, this one, okay, those that I didn't mention is either they are too easy or they are just not in the Cambridge syllabus, right? Centrifugation, the one is for blood, right? The one you need a machine. So I'm not going to mention that. Crystallization and evaporating is the same. Okay, crystallization and evaporation is more or less the same. Okay, centrifugation is not our thing unless you go for biology next time. Right, so guys, you doing good? Are you okay? Are you okay? Sometimes evaporation won't leave solid behind if they cannot crystallize lah. Okay, so shall we move on? Let's go to the exercise, shall we? Let's go to the exercise. So last week we finished this. What is a compound? What is an element? Okay, guys, do not confuse between atom, molecule, and compound element. Okay. Oh, copper sulfate, the blue thing, right? Okay, so like I said, atom and molecule is about number. Atom is elite, molecule is toko elite, right? But element and compound is more, is about the type. Element is one type, compound is more than one type, right? Like I said, oxygen molecule. What is it called? Molecule, because it has two. It is still an element because there's only one type here, right? But H2O is a molecule. We say water molecule, but H2O is a compound. because water has hydrogen and oxygen, right? Do not confuse these four words, guys. Do not confuse these four words. One is about number, one is about type. Okay, so let's do number 5. See if I can finish this today. Right, so give the symbols for the following element. This is actually chemistry. You want to learn, you learn. You don't want to learn, it's fine. Magnesium is Mg. Okay, oxygen is O. Hydrogen is H. Calcium is Ca. And boron is B. Okay, you want to learn, you learn. You don't want to learn, it's fine. Okay, because this is chemistry. Okay, and then if they give you symbol, what are the elements? C is carbon. Okay, yes. Na is sodium. Natrium in Latin word. K is potassium. Okay, Cl is chlorine. Si is silicon. Okay, silicon, you find this in sand. You find this in sand. We use silicon to make electronics. That's why those electronic companies, we call them Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley. Like Google is a Silicon Valley company, right? Apple, Tesla, they're all Silicon Valley company. Okay, yes, silicon dioxide, right? That is also called quartz. We use that to make electronics. Okay, so C, explain why scientists use symbols for the elements. Okay,